Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel. My name is Scott, and we are here to break down Elimination Chamber 2025. John Cena has turned heel. That's right. This is not a drill. John Cena is no longer the babyface hero of the WWE. In his final year, Cena has turned heel. We're going to be breaking that down and everything else that went down at Elimination Chamber right after this.
Welcome to the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel. On this channel, we bring you some great content from inside and outside of the squared circle. We will go through and offer some in-depth analysis of the biggest events of the year, as well as bringing you exclusive interviews with some of the industry's biggest names. There will also be live show reviews, in-depth features, and podcasts. So make sure you give that subscribe button a slam so you don't miss any of the action.
I can't believe I'm saying it. I can't believe those words have just come out of my mouth, and it's not a joke. It is, again, it's not a drill. John Cena is a heel. Wow, what a unexpected twist at the end of Elimination Chamber. Look, we were talking all night on the build-up show about potential Rock backup plans, essentially. And the big one we all thought was Drew McIntyre. The next one we thought might be CM Punk. The one we didn't even dare to really talk about too much because it just seemed so out of the ordinary was John Cena. But that's the one they've gone with. This is up there with Hogan joining the NWO. Like, this is going to be one of those moments talked about for the rest of history when it comes to wrestling. This is, I'm shocked. Even though it's something that I wanted a long, long time ago, even though it's something I thought would be interesting, they would, if they do it, you know, I'm speechless. Honestly, I didn't expect it. In my heart of hearts, because there were times over the years where I thought John Cena might turn heel, and where it made sense, and he didn't. But wow, John Cena is a bad guy once again. Right, okay, guys, let me know what you thought of the show overall. But of course, the big story coming out of this one is John Cena's heel turn. But never mind that, we also got a huge return for Randy Orton and a huge return for Jade Cargill, and some incredible moments on the show beyond that as far as the matches go themselves. Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens was an amazing match. A few comments here that we're going to get to straight away. Though Rob says, quite a negative one to start, I'm done with WWE. Rob, what's your problem? What didn't you like about it? Look, when Cena won, if anyone follows me on X at Scott_Reb Noise, you'll see I wasn't too pleased about Cena winning. But my goodness, am I coming out of this show feeling a little bit better about that now. Sludge says, what a show. What a show is right. Casper, also in the house, says, I can't believe what I just witnessed. John Cena, corporate John. Yeah, it weren't corporate money Punk as we thought it might be. It was corporate John after all. 9 out of 10 solid show. Only negative was Drew getting buried to Sludge. Yeah, look, I agree. It looks like they're going into the Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest storyline after all. We'll touch on that in a moment. But yeah, hopefully something better comes for Drew soon. Again, not dissing Damian or that feud, but he didn't look good, did he, in this at this show? But let's hope that's just the start of something that might twist and make him look better soon. Casper says, shocked, but needed to happen for a long time coming. Yeah, man. Crazy. 4 out of 4, Sludge. Is that your predictions? You got 4 out of 4 right. There's no way. Did you? I mean, I know they won a lot of matches to predict, but still, 4 out of 4. This was one of the hardest cards to predict, I think, in recent months. But man, what a show it was, and it all culminated with a heel turn from this man right here. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? John Cena is a bad guy, thanks to The Rock. I mean, look, there's so much to break down about that segment alone, but look, I got to give the rest of the card justice as well. Let's talk about the show overall. Slow says that you can look back. Yeah, we will. No, I'm sure you're right. Look, you did well, mate. To get 4 out of 4. I bet you didn't predict Cena Turner, though, did you? I don't know. I know a few of us spoke about it, didn't we, earlier on, but I don't think anyone really genuinely thought it was going to happen. It's happened. I look, these streams are great fun anyway, but I don't know if I've ever come on air live with this much energy at nearly 4 a.m. basically, because something so crazy has happened. Honestly, I feel like this is the thing about instant reaction reviews, is exactly that. It's how I feel now. It's word vomit, it's just going to come out. I almost already want to have a few days removed so that I can kind of articulate how I feel, because this is huge. This is massive. But, the beauty of these things is kind of just saying how you feel at the time. Christopher P is in the house. Is crazy. Crazy is the word, mate. Crazy is the word. Did not expect that. Even like in the end of that segment, like when you had Travis Scott in the ring, you're thinking, what's he doing there? Like, what is this got? Why now? Why did they move the segment? All the reports said that it would be halfway through the show and then we'd end on the men's chamber, but they changed it up. And I was just going into it thinking, you know what? I'm not going to say too much just yet, because again, we're going to get to John Cena. We're going to get to that final segment. Let's break down the card overall, because again, credit where it's due. I really enjoyed this show. There are things about it that were a little bit of a miss, as Sludge referred to just there. Drew not winning was disappointing for me, but Drew being seemingly buried, if you want to call it that, wasn't great either. But overall, an enjoyable show. So let's break it down, guys. Again, let me know in the comments what you think of this incredible twist at the end of the show, but of course I want to know what you thought of the matches and the the card overall and how it kind of panned out essentially. Right, let's go back to the very beginning. It did start out with the Women's Elimination Chamber match, and that was reported online. It was, in fact, the way we started the show. You got all the entrances, and then Jade Cargill's music hit. And the great thing about this, they had Naomi and Alexa Bliss in the ring ready to go at it. And Alexa looked terrified. No, excuse me, Liv Morgan. Naomi and Liv Morgan in the ring, 1 and 2, I should say. And Liv Morgan looked terrified. Now, Jade Cargill starts making her way down the ramp. She's, effing and blinding, basically, looking towards Liv, and she dives straight away, turns from Liv and attacks Naomi. Meanwhile, Bianca is in a pod screaming, basically trying to stop Jade Cargill, trying to figure out what's going on here, which, really does play into where we might see this go in the future. Look, I've been saying it all night, but I've been saying it for the past few months as well. I think Bianca and Naomi are in on this. Now, of course, Bianca winning the chamber does change some of this, but I think that means beyond WrestleMania, this story is going to continue. I think it will be Naomi versus Jade Cargill, and eventually Bianca will get put back into the storyline, because I think they played it perfectly. We were talking on the build-up show earlier on about the possible revelation tonight and how even a return for Jade could shadow the winner of the chamber. And I think they booked it brilliantly, in the sense that they put her out there straight away. The music hit. She was basically the 7th participant, right? She comes straight out. She took out Naomi, slammed her head in the door, and that was it. She was done, and Bianca couldn't do anything about it. There was no time for Bianca or Jade, or no opportunity for them to kind of argue and push each other around and be like, what are you doing? And all this kind of stuff. So you didn't have that awkwardness. You could just have Jade looking strong, confident in what she'd done, walking away, which I thought was so well executed. Jade looked like $1 million essentially. Bianca played her role amazingly. Naomi, sad for her to not be in the match, but look, it told a fantastic story, and that was the hot way that we started the show. And now Casper's seeing this as a Jade heel turn. I don't think it is a Jade heel turn. I think it can kind of look like that because Bianca, once she got into the match, basically ramped up babyface Bianca at the end of it, and she won, right? So it looks like Jade's just done something bad against someone that's good. But, I think Jade's going to be right. I think Naomi did do this. I don't think she's been conned by Liv or anything like that. Sludge says, not going to lie, I was going to pick up food, so I was about 20 minutes late to the show, and as soon as I turned on my TV, I saw Jade basically killed Naomi with the chamber door. Man, again, it was a big spot, wasn't it? It was really impressive the way Jade come in and just took the mick essentially out of Naomi, just completely destroyed her. Again, Liv really played up to it, pleading for her life essentially. But yeah, that twist, even though again, it's something I saw coming a long way away, not just it being Naomi, but the kind of red herring really of Liv Morgan. I think they played into it really well. But the match itself, I thought was quite enjoyable as well. It started out after that with Liv and Bianca. Bianca was a bit, I weren't sure about that. I was thinking, how does Bianca play into this? But again, she kind of went into being a babyface and eventually, spoiler alert, would win. Roxanne was the next one out. And I noticed at this point, they got a new, or they might use it last year as well, but they got that sound effect that goes basically, and then someone comes out. And I like the lights that they do on top of the chamber. They've been doing that for quite a while now, but they've changed it up in recent years, and the audio seems a bit different as well. But yeah, cool presentation as far as that goes. Liv eliminated Bayley quite early as well. Then you got that insane hair whip from from Bianca Belair on top of the pod to Liv Morgan, and the audio just sounded massively over the top. So I'm not sure if it was piped in somehow or what, but it was quite devastating, wasn't it? And then we did, to be fair, even if it was enhanced, you saw a mark on Liv's stomach, and then you saw that she was bleeding as well from the beating that she took throughout this match. Bliss eventually would kind of get involved in this match as well. She did the Abigail DDT on Bianca, but sadly, Liv Morgan would eventually pin Bliss, which was a real disappointment for me because I felt like at this stage, at least, Alexa Bliss looked like she might be going towards winning the match. You had the big yo-yo spot essentially between Liv and Bianca Belair using her hair once again, and then about a million reversals until Bianca finally picked up the win, and that was it. Bianca Belair won the Elimination Chamber match and goes on to face either at this stage Rhea Ripley or Io Sky. And with that in mind, Rhea Ripley came out onto the stage to basically have a little bit of a face-off with Bianca. Bianca was ready for it. She started doing her hair. Here's the perfect photo opportunity. And then right in the middle comes Io Sky to say, hold on a minute. We don't know about that just yet. And that's interesting because that's only a Monday Night Raw match. It's in 2 days, as we're recording this. So it's not like there's a PLE between now and Mania and they can really milk this shot or anything like that. So part of me wonders if this is going to turn into a triple threat. But at the same time, I do feel like they're probably just going to go with Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair. It's the match of this generation, right? These two women have been incredible. Their rise has been pretty much at the same time. They've worked together. They've worked against each other already as well. But on this big stage where they are both megastars, it does freshen things up. I think both of these women have got a little stale with certain storylines in the past kind of year or so. And this keeps it fresh in some sense because it's two megastars of this era going up against each other, and you can't really be mad at that. The only thing is I feel like Bianca had a better story to tell if she's involved with the Jade Cargill situation, which feels like a WrestleMania match in itself. But now I'm starting to think that is a SummerSlam situation. So we'll see where we go with that one. Casper says, I can see Jade costing Bianca at WrestleMania. That's what I'm thinking as well. I do feel like the truth will come out and it will turn out that Bianca was part of this as well. That's been my hunch all along. Again, I was hoping it would lead to a triple threat between her and Jade and Naomi. But it looks like it might even just be a Naomi Jade one-on-one match. So we'll see how we go with that one there. Sludge says, I really don't like where they're going with this with Bliss, if I'm being honest. Yeah, it was a shame. It felt at some point in that match that she was going to be, again, the big star coming out of it. I think she looked great in the match. But there was a time where I thought, again, it's not going to be Bianca. She's got another storyline going on. So the Bliss one started to make a bit more sense, and yeah, it just didn't happen. Sludge also says, do you think EO will pull a Daniel Bryan? In what sense, Sludge? What do you mean? Like hijacking the show with a yes movement, or forcing herself into the match? Is that what you mean? I guess that's probably more likely what you mean, right? WrestleMania, squeezing her way into the match, like Daniel Bryan did against Triple H to get into the triple threat against, what was it, Batista and Randy Orton, right? There you go, turn the match into a triple threat. Yeah, it could do, because that shot that we got the three of them felt like more than just, hey, let's watch Raw on Monday and see who it really is, you know? But at the same time, if you have Rhea coming out there, no EO, it would have looked a bit obvious that Rhea's going to win. So maybe it was just simply for that after all. But yeah, really, really good match. I enjoyed this quite a bit. Let me know in the comments, guys, what you thought of this overall. Great way to start the show. Again, Bianca was out there quite quickly. Roxanne, who was my pick, by the way, we talked about it quite in depth throughout the streams this weekend. Looked very good, but yeah, hasn't been chosen to kind of, I guess, have the rocket strapped to and head straight to WrestleMania in a big match after all. So not for the women's world title, at least. So yeah, this was a really, really hard match to predict, and in the end, it ended up being a really entertaining match. I guess for that reason as well. If I'm completely honest with you, I'm disappointed that Bianca won, because I would rather see her in a triple threat match at WrestleMania with Jade and Naomi. But again, if you take that storyline away from it, and you said to me at any other time, Jade, excuse me, I've still got Jade on the brain. You said to me at any other time, Bianca versus Rhea, WrestleMania, women's world title, I would say, yeah, obviously. Not like it's a match that needs to happen, right? So, yeah, it is where it is. Casper says, wasn't a bad chamber for me, but Corporate John stole the show. Yeah, for sure. Look, we're going to get to Corporate John in a bit more detail very soon. Don't you worry. It was a huge, huge talking point. Again, not just of this show. It will be one of the things that we talk about, I think, for years to come. Before we do get to that point, let's move on with the show itself and talk about the order of what we actually saw the matches play out. Trish Stratus and Tiffany Stratton took on Candice LeRae and Nia Jax. This is another match where I weren't quite sure why we were having this. I thought it might be a twist. It might be Tiffany being turned on essentially by Trish Stratus. It wasn't the case, but what they did do was quite fun. We did speculate on the build-up that if it wasn't for that purpose, it might have been simply to give Trish a big moment in Canada. And look, she's celebrating her 25th anniversary here in WWE. I was talking earlier, actually, off air with my wife about how I remember watching Trish Stratus's debut. I was watching Heat on a Sunday. I just had my roast dinner. It used to be on Channel 4 o'clock, I believe. And yeah, I used to watch Sunday Night Heat, as it was known. It would have been nighttime for us. But yeah, I remember Trish's debut, Lita's debut. I remember the time that Hardcore Holly faced Triple H for the WWF title. That was quite weird. But these moments stick in your head. And yes, incredible to think that 25 years on, Trish is still having entertaining matches, essentially. So her and Stratton faced off against, as I say, Candice LeRae and Nia Jax. Both teams in matching gear. Always nice to see that. The heels took control of Trish pretty much for the whole match. Until eventually we got a super stratisfaction, as Michael Cole called it, pretty much a top rope bulldog. And then there was a moonsault from Candice LeRae to break up the pin. But Trish cleverly moved on time. At first, I thought it was a bit of a sloppy spot. It seemed a bit delayed and that the ref had stopped counting, because obviously he should stop counting as a spot coming here. But then when you watch the replay, Trish moves out of the way. So technically that broke the pin anyway. Anyway, Candice lands on Nia Jax. And then you got the prettiest moonsault ever to pick up the win. And my note here is it was a bit easy, a bit too easy. Like, I don't think Tiffany was in the ring for that long. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'd love to see the stat on that. I feel like the whole match was Trish getting beaten up. and then Tiffany coming in did a moonsault. But hey, it was entertaining. I got to give him that anyway. A few more comments here as well. Let's go with Sludge Sports. That says that was the eat ice cream then brush your teeth because you don't care match. Oh, Sludge, don't be harsh. It was entertaining. Look, for what it was, I thought it was good. Dan Hargreaves in the house again. What an insane show. Got 2 returns right. Yeah, look. Once again, it was a privilege to have Dan join us on the build-up show earlier on. I know you were covering the show itself on Gimme a Whole Yeah, and I'm sure you had an insane reaction to the John Cena heel turn and those returns. I haven't had a chance to check out your reactions, Dan, but I'm going to hop over there as soon as I get the opportunity to watch that as well. But I appreciate you hopping into this stream as well for giving your comments here. Garnacho and Harlan's baby is back in the house. This match was okay, but Tiffy looked good. She looked good because all she did was a moonsault, right? Did she do anything beyond that? Am I missing something here? I just felt like all she did was the moonsault at the end. It was a great moonsault. It's the prettiest moonsault ever, as they call it. But, you know. Right, still on the beer, as you can see. It's been... I'm wired, guys. I am wired. Look, it's 4 a.m. I should be getting to bed. But instead, I was like, there's so much to talk about. Casper says Trish didn't turn on Tiffy time, but not at the Chamber. Could still happen on the road to WrestleMania. True, that is true. My whole pitch, you know, Casper, you'll know because you was on the build-up stream earlier on. I know you were tuned in, but my idea is to have a 3 generations match. Charlotte, Trish, and Tiffany. Weird, right? We didn't see Charlotte at all tonight. So, yeah, let's see where that goes. Comes SmackDown. Slide Sports says, did you see Tiffany kick Trish? No, I don't think I did see kick. Did I see that? No, I don't think I did. Dan says there is already a reaction video up ready to watch. Of course there is, mate. Appreciate you being hot on the content there, man. I'll go look that up for sure. Didn't expect Bianca to win the Elimination Chamber, says Casper. Yeah, it was unexpected as far as, you know, those 6 go. As we mentioned earlier on, it felt like they all had storylines to go into, and none more so than Bianca Belair, and yet she's the one that's ended up in a different story altogether. Now, let's move on to, well, what happens next is we had the Netflix guys, some Netflix actors in the audience, and it was really weird from this point because, like, I don't want to be, like, picking on things, but I have to be honest, some of the graphics were shocking tonight. Yeah, and don't get me wrong, running these live shows, I know not even to that degree how stressful it could be, but it just felt not very slick. You know, there were name sets coming up and the backgrounds are moving, and you had a bit of that, and then there was this weird shot where they showed, I guess it was Toronto, like going from day to nighttime, and no one was talking until the very end, where Michael Cole set up the next shot. I think was Drew McIntyre getting ready backstage. It was really weird, and I've noticed that a few times lately. Look, everybody crapped all over Kevin Dunn, and there were some problems with Kevin Dunn's production, you know, or the kind of era that he oversaw. Don't get me wrong, and there are a lot of things that I've enjoyed about this new era and the production that we're seeing now, but there are, at the same time, there are some sloppy things that are kind of falling through the net. And maybe that's I don't know. It can't be a Netflix thing. I don't know. It's strange. Then we got a promo package from The Rock. And again, we're going to talk about The Rock in more detail later on. But this promo package in the middle of the show, my note for this was put some respect on his name. Like, it just reminded me of, like, how amazing The Rock is. Like, The Rock was a childhood hero of mine, and I'm not just being biased, right? I know a lot of people wanted Cena to win because that was their childhood hero, and I'm, you know, it's not the case for me, so you might see bias there as well. But for me, showing that just reminded me, like, how incredible this man is as a performer, and how incredibly successful he is as well. Like, he is the most followed actor on TikTok, I think it is, and the most followed American in the world, which is just, I mean, I don't know why I don't just say most followed American. Where else are Americans being followed? In Mars? I don't know. But the point is, the guy's a superstar, and it started because of wrestling. The man is the most famous man in the world, arguably, right? But because of wrestling, because of the time he came out with tassels at Madison Square Garden, because of the time he faced Triple H in an IC ladder match in, what was it, 98, because of the time he did impressions of Rikishi saying I did it for The Rock, you know, because of the time he recently released a song about pie. The Rock is a superstar, and he has come back, and we wanted him back for so long. Like, I remember when he came back in, what was it, 2011, and just how exciting that was, and how much we had wanted that for so long, and then Cena's feud and that whole kind of via satellite stuff and all that. But he's not now. Like, he's there, and he's playing into the final boss stuff. And look, we're going to get more into The Rock at the end of the show, because again, The Rock had a big part to play in what we saw at the end. But look, I just want to say, let's just appreciate what we've got here. Let's appreciate having The Rock back, because he's bringing us some gold. Rant out of the way. Let's get back onto some of these guys. Dan says, Tiffy kicked Trish to get up to the top rope, but it wasn't a malicious kick or anything from Tiffy. Oh, but they could play into it. All right, I like it. I like it. Sludge says, I expected it. And Dan says, I'm off to bed, dude. Hope you have a great night. Yeah, Dan, great to see you, mate. Thanks for hopping on earlier and popping into this stream on the comments as well. Don't forget to like and subscribe, as he says. Thank you so much, mate. And again, once you're done with this stream, go check out Give Me a Whole Year and see Dan's reaction to the heel turn as well. I'm looking forward to seeing that myself. See you later, Dan. Solid Sports says, my childhood hero was Jeff Hardy. Yeah, Jeff Hardy, man. Great to see him back, right? Him and Matt in NXT at the moment, at least with TNA. Casper says, I did see most of the men's chamber. I was dozing, but woken up at the best bit. Wide awake now. I'm fully awake to the best bit. Cody tells The Rock, go F yourself, Corporate John as well. Oh, yeah. Oh, there's so much to break down about that final segment. We're going to get there. We're going to get there. Hold on, guys. We're nearly there. But first, we've got to talk about this incredible match, the unsanctioned competition between Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. What a match. I was in two minds going into this. Again, those that join us on the weekend preview, those that join us on the original prediction show and our build-up show will know I fully expected this to either be like a decent time and then Kevin wins, or a 5-minute kind of brawl. They're pulled apart and they go again at WrestleMania. Now, all of us on our predictions basically said this is a match for WrestleMania. But then there was talk in the past few days about a return of Randy Orton, and we started to think, well, maybe Randy Orton gets involved here. Maybe this is a triple threat. Maybe it's just Randy versus Kevin, which I think is the most likely option now. But before we get to that, let's talk about some of the big moments in the match itself. Michael Cole, first of all, mentioned the history of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Well, Kevin Steen and El Generico, which was a bit odd, right? Why is he talking about El Generico? Kids, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, that was quite cool to see them refer back to that. They completely changed the production feel for this. The referee, for a start, looked like he was working in a burger shop. Plain black shirt, black gloves, like he was about to craft a masterpiece and smash it together, right, with some extra jalapenos and hot sauce and melted cheese pull as well. Yeah. Honestly, I mean, I'm getting hungry just thinking about it, but the ref looked like he worked in a burger shop. Then you got low lighting as well, and then they went straight into the weapons. They started out with chairs, hockey sticks, and things like that. Table spots got the crowd really pumped up, and then they did it within the crowd as well. And there was this incredible shot where they showed the audience. And again, because of the lighting change for this match, there was just a spotlight on Sami and KO doing their kind of business essentially around the tables in a sea of people. And for two Canadians in the middle of that, it looked fantastic. Now, I just want to quickly say here, actually, we were talking earlier on about the fact that this is at the Rogers Centre, the former Sky Dome even, in Toronto, where they have reached 80,000 for WrestleMania 18, for example, and they have been there as well for WrestleMania 6. So two of the biggest WrestleManias in history have taken place in that very venue. Now, this time around, I think they had 38,000 capacity, and that is no small number, don't get me wrong. I don't think they were expected to get to 50, 60, 70, or even 80,000. I think it's more about that these shows, these kind of, let's say A, B, and C, let's call this a B show, right? A B show, is now a 40,000 capacity, and they were doing these baseball stadiums for a bit, but sometimes that's not going to work, or logistically it's just, you might as well just book the 80,000 and block it out. When they were here for Clash at the Castle, I think that at the Principality was a 60,000, and they had about 44,000, I think it was, and they just kind of tarpauled certain areas and stuff like that. So it's not a shot to WWE or anything like that, but just a note essentially. But the way they shot it, for the most part, looked quite well. And that bit there, again, that spot where you see the two guys fighting in the audience, I think just looked absolutely fantastic. Sludge says, crazy match. Only thing missing was bear traps and chainsaws. Yes, Sludge, I forgot. You had that dream, didn't you? And what a dream that must have been. Look, you were close, mate. It looked like we would get to bear traps and chainsaws in this match. Kevin versus Sammy Week, you could watch every week. Yeah, I get you, mate. It was... what a match. Again, for a feud that's gone on and on and on, let's be honest, still really exciting, isn't it? Let's go back to some of the big hard-hitting action from this match as well, some of the spots that we saw throughout the show. KO threw Sami Zayn off the turnbuckle through the tables after setting 2 up in a row. Zayn was holding his neck for a while, trying to feel his fingers, but KO did not care. Fisherman suplex on the chair, gets a 2 count. A suplex, then another one into the chair, absolutely mad. A haluva kick into the burger restaurant in ref. He gets knocked out. Referee Charles Robinson runs out. He goes to count, hits a 2, doesn't quite work out, gets clotheslined himself, and a third referee comes out as well. KO throws a chair at Sami Zayn's head, a brutal spot that I didn't see coming. Sami did the same thing to KO though when he was sitting on the ropes as well. Then it was like a sort of brain buster through the table from the top rope. That only gets a 2 as well. Then there's another haluva kick. This time it hits Kevin Owens. He gets a 2. And then what do you know? Sami Zayn pulls out a chair with barbed wire wrapped around it. This was WrestleMania worthy, this match. It was unbelievable. When you get to this level where you're pulling out barbed wire chairs and he whacks it over KO's back a few times, it was intense. Then, man, a drop toe hold onto Kevin Owens as well. I didn't see it on the replays as nice as I'd like to, but like the initial shot looked like KO's jaw just went boom and hit right on the chair. It sounded devastating. It looked devastating. I'd love to watch it back because I saw the replay come out and I just missed it at that point as well. But man, it looked devastating. Blue Thunderbomb onto the chair that he had created. The chair table, even with in the middle, you had the barbed wire chair on top of the 2 chairs, essentially. Again, only gets a 2. Now, at this point, you start going, actually, we could have done this 5 moves back. Maybe there's too many kickouts, but still really entertaining. I've got to be honest. It's a certain style of match. I'm here for it. Then it starts winding down essentially when you get a powerbomb onto the side of the ring from Kevin Owens. He basically gets stopped from doing another by all the agents coming out. There's a bit of a sloppy pickup on the next one, but they perfectly save it. It looks like Sami kind of fights out of it a little bit, even though Sami, I think, was supposed to look out of it and then take a second one because he couldn't defend himself. At that stage, storyline-wise, I think he had to defend himself because it looked a little bit awkward. So he got out of it, tried to fight back. No, Kevin Owens hits him with the second after all. The security try and hold him back. It's not working out. And Kevin Owens just goes mad, hits more of the security, and gets the 3 count. Then after that, he attacks the security and he starts setting up the floor. And what do you know? We're all hearing voices in our head. Randy Orton is back. And great reaction from the audience. Toronto went wild for this one. And then Kevin just let go of Sami, calmly got back in the ring, and basically awaited his fate. He knew he'd given the package power driver to Randy Orton. He knew he'd ruined a friendship, even though in his heart, it feels like Randy Orton was the cause of that friendship breaking up, and Cody Rhodes and Sami Zayn have turned on him as well. You know, it's always the heel that's actually in the right? But yeah, it was perfectly set up, essentially. Randy Orton returns, hits the RKO, goes to hit him with a chair, throws it away, and sets up for something more devastating, the punt. And the audience, once they cottoned on the new way it was, and once the audience realized it was fantastic, once the commentary team as well hyped it up, it felt special. and then they stopped him. Kevin Owens gets away. I love the fact that they made the punt feel more devastating than the steel chair. You know, like Randy Orton's foot was a bigger weapon than the steel chair. Didn't get to use it. A nice little flirt with it as well. So I'm hoping we get to see it at WrestleMania. See that spot at least. But yeah, Randy Orton's not happy. Starts beating up all the security. A few RKOs for good measure as well. Let's get to a few more of these comments here. Suchbot says, what do you think Zayn's going to do at Mania? Mate, I don't know. I really don't know. Because, again, I was thinking, when people talked about Randy Orton coming back, I thought, oh, triple threat. How do we squeeze Sami Zayn into that? Like, is he got to be like a tweener? Is he going to be annoyed that he got help? Or what? I don't know. So maybe he just leaves this storyline completely. I mean, Kevin Owens versus Randy does make sense, right? They were a tag team for a bit. So I guess we'll see with that one. Casper says, wide awake now, won't be going back now, buzzing about corporate John. We're going to get there, Casper. Don't you worry. But yeah, big spot to close the show, and we'll be closing it our show with that as well. Before we get there, though, it's time to talk about the match that led to Big Match John turning heel. Of course, this was the Elimination Chamber match in the men's division, which saw Damian Priest taking Logan Paul, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, John Cena, and CM Punk. Even looking at that graphic, I'm like, look at him, smug in the middle. How dare he look like a baby face? I can't believe it. I can't believe he's turned heel. I can't I can't believe it. Oh man. Okay. Let's talk about the match, as I say, that led to it. Again, a bit of a sloppy production issue here. Did you notice that Logan Paul's music was still playing and Damian Priest's theme song started? Bit weird. Look, I don't want to just be negative, but we're reviewing this show in every kind of aspect, right? I'm being honest. So it is what it is. I just thought it's strange. It's not the kind of mistake we were seeing before. So I do wonder if something's changed. Anyway, let's get back to the match itself. One of the big spots we get earlier on is Seth whacking Drew into Punk's pod, essentially. Punk being taunted from the inside, kept trying to fix his light, bless him. Damian Priest did an incredible version of old school into a moonsault, which I really enjoyed. Sludgeport says Seth's gear was fire. Seth gear is always great, isn't it? Purple theme this time. And also says, I'm completely lost on themes, but at the beginning of the Priest song, it sounded like Broken Dreams. Yeah, I guess it's got a bit of Broken Dreams to it, hasn't it? Yeah, I get what you're saying there. Now, Cena enters at number 5. Drew was eliminated by Priest way earlier than I expected. As Sludge said earlier on, it was quite... If anything is disappointing about this night, it's the fact that Drew looked like a chump. But I know, look, it's not over, and it could be for this, and it could be for that, and but I felt like he should be in John Cena's position here. Don't get me wrong, I'm getting giddy thinking about John Cena doing what he's done and this kind of crazy storyline we're getting, but I never expected that. So I hoped it would have been Drew, but hey, anyway, we'll get to Cena. Damian Priest, and Drew McIntyre seems like the match going forward, so we'll see what happens there. After Drew got eliminated, he claymored Damian Priest as well. Then we got a frog splash from the pod from Logan Paul, which was pretty cool. Damian Priest was therefore eliminated as well. Seth stopped the Punk and Cena face-off, which was, it didn't go down well with the crowd, did it? Everybody wanted to see that. Eventually, we got them facing off, though. But yeah, they kind of flirted with it for a little bit. Punk did pin Logan after hitting him with the GTS, which makes me think that maybe they're going into a feud, but something also happened here, which makes me think, no, maybe Punk's doing something else. We saw the heart attack from Cena and Punk working together on Seth Rollins. This is when it was down to just the three of them. And then a great moment where you had Cena and Punk do a handshake, then a hug, and then just start punching each other. I thought it was so cool. Such a great visual. And just perfectly kind of summed up where they are at the moment. Also, I thought John Cena was a noble man, but maybe not. We got the classic spot of a roll through into an AA, only hits the 2. A buckle bomb from Seth Rollins to Cena to on the outside, essentially, onto the chains on the chamber itself. And it was at this point, and even just before, actually, when he was picking up Cena, I thought, what if Cena gets injured? Like, what if he gets injured to a point where he's like out for the rest of the year? It would ruin his farewell tour. Like, they'd have to just do it again, right? Anyway, that's not the case. He seems to be doing all right. So much so that he's, man, in a big spot going into WrestleMania. We'll get to that again. Buckle bomb again, though. This time on CM Punk into the corner. Only gets a 2, even though he hit a stomp just before going for the pin as well. GTS, then an AA, but Punk finally gets the 3 on Seth Rollins. Then we get down to just the 2 of them. Punk this time skips the handshake, hits the GTS, gets a 2. AA gets a 2 from John Cena as well. But then out of nowhere, Rollins runs back in and hits CM Punk with a stomp. So again, it looks like CM Punk versus Rollins is the match going forward, which again, at this point, I was thinking, I was quite angry, I'll be honest, because I just didn't know what we were getting with Cena, what was to come, of course. And I was just thinking, I don't want this, which is mad because this time last year, it's the match I wanted. Punk versus Seth Rollins is the match I wanted, and I wanted it for the world title, and it couldn't happen because Punk got injured. And then at the start of the year, they had that amazing match on the debut of Raw on Netflix, and that was it. I thought, oh, this is going to WrestleMania, but then they stepped off it for a bit. So yeah, I thought, oh, one of them will win something, and it'll be for a title, and that way we can do 2 birds, 1 stone, and Punk gets his WrestleMania main event. Maybe not. Maybe we're just going to get Punk versus Rollins. Or are we going to get Punk, Rollins, and Roman Reigns? Of course, he was a big part of their kind of, I guess, drama at the Royal Rumble as well. Sludge says, Logan has nothing at Mania. Sammy has nothing to do at Mania. If they had a match, I would be mad. Yeah, true. I think they'd work quite well together, actually. Even the promos would be quite fun. Be a banger, says Sludge. Casper says, oh, because he's shocking John Cena heel turn, but sorry to say, I've been waiting for this for a while. Yeah, I think we all have. I never thought it'd come. I honestly never, ever thought we'd get it. Those days were gone for me. That ship had sailed. Before we get on that ship, though, let's break down the end of the match itself. As I say, Rollins hit Punk with the stomp. Cena grabs Punk into the GTS, and Punk passed out. And at this stage, I got to be honest, guys, I was annoyed. I said on our build-up show that I didn't want Cena to win. I wasn't in the camp of wanting Cena to win. Look, Cena is not my childhood hero. I was into Cena in my early teenage years when he did Ruthless Aggression, Dr. Thuganomics, and then when he turned into Chain Gang and kind of Hustle, Loyalty, Respect Cena, I was bored of him. And as much as I've always appreciated him as a performer, I wanted him to turn heel all that time. And I understand why they didn't do it. But at the same time, I feel like they missed opportunities for good storytelling. And I think they buried stars, one who was on commentary, by the way, Wade Barrett, needlessly. But has he just made up for it? Has he just made up for it with this crazy, crazy heel turn at the end of Elimination Chamber? Let's talk about it. We saw earlier on, the rumor was that Cody Rhodes and The Rock were going to have their segment at the middle of the show. It wasn't at the middle of the show. Instead, we went into a crazy unsanctioned match and then a men's chamber. It was a top-heavy match, top-heavy show. And then at the end, Cody Rhodes comes out. And I'm thinking, I don't want to see this. I don't care. Like, I know it's a dream match in some ways. Cena versus Cody, 2 baby faces. Cena's last year, Cena's last WrestleMania, trying to win the title. Yeah, okay. But Cena could have chased it all year and done it at the end of the year. if he was a babyface. Little did I know, Cena wasn't going to be a babyface. Right. What we saw was crazy. Again, at this stage, I'm not looking forward to the WrestleMania program, right? I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, Cody's going to come out and say, yeah, guys, and now the Rock's going to come out, right? Rock's got to do something. So the Rock's music hits, Travis Scott's with him. And I'm thinking, oh, yeah, Travis Scott's on this show. They advertised that. I don't have a problem with celebrity cameos. Travis Scott's clearly a big fan. They're happy to have him. Hopefully he brings eyes to the product. I thought, well, he'll do something tonight and he might get in a bit of a scuffle with someone and he might even have a match at WrestleMania. That's what I was prepared for. But when he came out here, I thought, what the heck's he doing? Like, what's he got to do with this? And look, we kind of got answers, but I'm still wondering what they do with him going forward. But yeah, anyway, he comes out with a Rock and I'm thinking, like my head's just sinking further and further into my hands at this point. I'm just thinking, what are they doing? Cody says, look, I've already given up my soul. There's a lot of adrenaline in it. Oh, he didn't say that, but and I knew it was coming, it's for the fans. It was for this business, for the fans and all that kind of stuff. And then here's the Rock with the line. Hey, Rock, go yourself. Which I didn't expect, right? Now, The Rock himself, when he's been on WWE TV the past year or so, is dropped a few kind of naughty words, right? And then get away with it because he's The Rock. But I didn't expect that. Anyway, so that, okay, well, what's going on here? And then Cena's all happy, he's kind of, you got Travis Scott in the corner lighting up. Rock's in the other corner a bit angry. Cena's all hyped up, being like, hey, we're going to WrestleMania and we're friends. And then he hugs Cody Rhodes. And The Rock just goes like this. And at first I thought, oh, he's saying, you've made a bad decision, Cena and Cody. Like, I'm getting you both. And I thought, oh, where are they going with this? Because just before this, I thought, oh, the only thing that will save this is if Roman Reigns comes out and makes it a 4-way. Like, because I don't really want to see 1-1, but there'll be an interesting story to tell if it's 4 of them. But nah, Rock does that. And the crowd turned. The crowd start to pop. And I'm thinking, like I said, I'm thinking this is about him just being disappointed with the two of them. He's going to come at them both. I'm so unprepared for a John Cena heel turn that I'm thinking, no, he's not. It's not. I can't. It doesn't even hit my brain. And then Cena's face changed, and I thought, oh, he's just annoyed at The Rock because we've seen Cena's face go like that before, right? Cena used to get weirdly, and he bugged me about him, right? Babyface, but then like super serious, like. But no, it wasn't that. It was because he was turning, and as Casper says here, never thought it would happen. Because what do you know? He takes a step back, and he kicks Cody right in the nuts. And even then, I'm thinking, am I seeing what I'm seeing? Is John Cena a heel? Or can we rationalize this? That's the thing with Cena. You don't think he could ever be a heel. You're like, no, this is like, it still makes sense. Like, it just is threatened by Rock. So, like, like when he was held hostage almost in the Nexus, but he would never wear the merch, which annoyed me. So I'm thinking it's something like that. Even still, I can't fathom that John Cena is a bad guy. And then he shows us he's a bad guy. He batters Cody Rhodes. He brings out brass knuckles. He starts whacking him with them. Then he gets the WWE title. And he whacks him across the head. And then Cody starts bleeding. And then Michael Cole on commentary starts screaming. He's going to stoop to this. Michael Cole's now swearing on commentary. What have we seen? Honestly, one of the most surprising things I've ever seen in WWE. One of the most surprising things. And this is the thing, Casper, you say it is well overdue. I agree with you. And that's why it is so surprising, because it doesn't feel real. it doesn't feel like we've actually seen it. Like, I need to watch about 10 replays. I want to hear the fans' reactions. I want to see all the nuances and stuff like that. Because then after that, Travis Scott gets involved and he starts beating up Cody. What the heck's going on? What? What? So now we've got this like stable of The Rock, John Cena, and Travis Scott. What's going on? Is that what Travis Scott's doing at WrestleMania? Is he in the corner of John Cena? Which you could see if they were both baby faces, but they're both heels. John Cena is a heel. And I can't believe it. Oh, man. Anyway, look. I'm speechless. I say speechless. I've been chatting for 50 minutes. But I don't really know how to articulate what I've seen. It's a special night. I got to be honest. It's a special night. As I say, I was disappointed when Cena won. I put the tweet out. I said, look, if... where did I say? Let me see if I can find it. Let me find what I said. At Scott_Reb Noise, by the way. That's REBNOISE if you want to follow me on there. I said, I've been saying it for a while. I guess it wouldn't be right if John Cena's final year didn't have at least one more. I can't believe he won. He doesn't need it. Result. So fair play. One more for old time's sake, eh? And that's the way I saw it at the time. I thought after all those years, we're getting another one where Cena doesn't need to headline WrestleMania. He is a main event attraction on his own without the title. And that's why I'm glad they've done it like this. Because if it was him as a babyface, I'd be thinking that could have been someone else. This match could have been at the end of the year. But now they're doing it as a heel. And it's such a great story to tell. He has issues. He has a past with The Rock. He is desperate to win the title and break that record. Then he might do it as a heel. What the heck? I mean, look, we're going to get into WrestleMania predictions at some point, but at this stage, I feel like he can't. Because if he's going to do it, he's got to be a babyface. Now I want a babyface Cena. What's happening? I don't understand. As Casper says, doesn't feel right. You're right. Look, I'm loving it. I can't wait to see what they do. Ultimately, though, this is the way I'd book it right now. Cena doesn't win at WrestleMania. He has to retire as a babyface. And I think he should do it at the final PLE of the year. It should be based on him. Can he finally do it? He's learnt the error of his ways. Cody's in his... Well, not in his corner because he might not be the champ. Or he might still be the champ even. But whatever it is, basically, I think Cena has to win the title in his last match. Maybe retire as a babyface. And, run it back, essentially. But at the moment, man, I'm so excited to see where they go here. Because, again... to show that desperation of like, I had to do it. And look, a lot of people have been saying that his press conference after the Rumble saying, look, I'm here and I deserve to be in the chamber. I ain't qualifying, was kind of heelish anyway. But people got it because they're like, yeah, he is a legend. Oh, man. He was sowing the seeds, wasn't he? Well, guys, that brings us to the end of the show. Both for Elimination Chamber and for the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling instant reaction of the Chamber event. I've really enjoyed all the streams we've done over the weekend here, guys. Everyone that's been with us, much appreciated. From those lurking in the background to those that have been commenting and helping us find new topics and discussions to dive into on the build-up, on the weekend preview, on the kickoff watch-along, and now on the instant reaction as well. Huge amount of love for you guys. Really appreciate you. And again, as always, if you're here for the first or the 86th time, I appreciate you either way. Casper says, I was hoping Roman to come out and help Cody. Yeah, I was thinking that because it went on for so long, didn't it? It went on for so long. But they didn't do it. And that would have led to maybe, again, a fatal four-way or one-on-one with The Rock. I think the whole thing at the moment is that we're not getting something with The Rock as far as wrestling goes. So maybe not. But what's Roman going to do? Is he going into the Punk storyline with Seth? Man. I was a bit dejected, again, coming out of the Men's Chamber match. But now, again, it's gone 4:30 in the morning here in the UK, and I'm buzzing. I speechless. What an incredible end to the show. Again, a moment that I think we're going to remember for years to come. A moment that many of us, as Casper said, has been kind of waiting for a long, long time. There are kids, there are adults, I should say, who have grown up and never seen a heel John Cena. Not in real time, at least. Yeah, you can go back on what was the network, now Peacock or Netflix, depending on your territory, and you can look at some of the stuff that John Cena did in the past. But no, it's happening now. He's a heel now. It was like when The Rock became final boss. I loved it because it played into what people thought about him anyway, and we got to see Hollywood Rock again. A bit of corporate Rock again as well. Sludge says this is his second or third heel run, I think. It might just be second. He came in as Ruthless Aggression Cena. He turned into Dr. Thugonomics Cena, which was a heel. And that was it. He turned into Chain Gang Babyface Cena from that. So I think this is it. I think this is the second time in the WWE on the main roster, at least, that John Cena has been a heel. Which is insane. But as I say, there are adults out there. There are people who have graduated university that have never seen a heel John Cena. And now's their chance. And it won't be the same heel John Cena we saw in 02, 03, 04. Well, that was about it, wasn't it? But there will be elements of it. And it'll be interesting to see what they do. Anyway, once again, thank you everyone that's joined us throughout this weekend. For those that were with us on the weekend kickoff, I appreciate you. For those that join us for the kickoff watch along, thank you so much. And those that are in the house for the build-up show as well, thank you. If you're new here, what we do on the night of the PLE is get you and us hyped up for that PLE by taking you all the way to the start of the show, talking last-minute rumors and stuff like that. Now, the build-up show is mainly, again, a predictions and preview show, but we dove into many, many topics on that. So if you haven't already, feel free to go back and watch it because there were some interesting topics beyond the Elimination Chamber and heading into WrestleMania predictions in that as well. But you've been watching the instant reaction review for an incredible show, guys. We saw the return of Jade Cargill, which was, again, perfectly executed. We saw the return of the legend that is Randy Orton, which was really fun as well. And then we saw the heel turn, finally, of John Cena. Never mind the fact that we saw a fun tag match. We saw a great unsanctioned match. And two incredible chamber matches. What a show. Guys, I've been Scott. You've been watching the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel. We're going to be back for plenty more content in the coming days and weeks as we head firmly onto the road to WrestleMania. Marcy says, good show tonight. Thank you so much, Marcy. Appreciate you joining us. And again, I know you were in the house of the build-up show as well. Thank you for that. If you haven't already, guys, please subscribe. You'll see content on this channel, such as our interview with Bayley. We've had great conversations with the likes of LA Knight. And we've also had the opportunity to interview people like Santos Escobar and Pretty Deadly. It's not just interviews and predictions, though. We've got watch-alongs on this channel for classic PLE, such as SummerSlams from the past. And we've also got content relating to WrestleMania. We're in WrestleMania season now. Go and check out our podcast dedicated to WrestleMania logos on this very channel and a few other WrestleMania-themed podcasts here as well. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Casper says, appreciate the content. Have a good one. Thank you, Casper. Appreciate you joining us throughout the night. It's been a busy one. It's been a long one, but it's been a fun one. And once again, subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you in the next one. John Cena's a heel. What the heck?
Welcome to the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel. On this channel, we bring you some great content from inside and outside of the squared circle. We will go through and offer some in-depth analysis of the biggest events of the year. as well as bringing you exclusive interviews with some of the industry's biggest names. There will also be live show reviews, in-depth features, and podcasts. So make sure you give that subscribe button a slam so you don't miss any of the action.